Well, welcome. I'm Candy, your decision guide, and I am here to discuss with you the topic of lucid dreaming. For those of you who've never tuned in to any of my broadcasts, I am an emotional mastery coach. I teach women in midlife how to navigate and master their emotions. And the reason why I decided to work with women in midlife is because right around the age of 35, you begin to recognize that you have emotional patterns that are no longer serving you. When you're pretty much in your early 30s, late 20s, and on down, you tend to think you've got this, and you think that everything that happens to you just happens. Something happens right around midlife. You begin to see patterns, and then you begin to realize you're the common denominator in a lot of your situations, and you want to change them because you realize if you have the power to create whatever has been happening, you also have the power to change whatever has been happening. So I decided to talk about lucid dreaming because a lot of people don't realize emotional control is directly tied to making sure that you're able to get the most out of your lucid dreams. Many times we have dreams and they seem so real. And we begin to have conversations in these dreams. We begin to have revelations in these dreams. We begin to have things to happen to us. And then what happens is when we get emotionally attached to what's going on, we get an emotional charge. And once our emotional hits a certain peak, our dreams begin to collapse. And so what happens is you wake up and you say, oh my God, I was just getting ready to get an answer. My great aunt or my grandmother or my great grandmother, was just getting ready to tell me the answer to this question that I asked. And I really want to go back and revisit that. Well, I've been inspired to look into lucid dreaming for the last, say, 5 years. And not too long ago, I just had a dream that actually my dad is in his 80s, and he's got dementia, and it's just been kind of sad to watch. And so I had a dream that I went to a birthday party on his brother's side, and his brother's still alive and everything. We had a wonderful birthday party. But after the birthday party, my father and I ended up over to my grandmother's house. Well, of course, she's deceased. She opens the door. She starts talking to me. And I want to confide in her as to how her son is doing and get some advice from her as to how to further handle these last months, years, or however long my father has of his life in order to make it a little fuller, better, whatever. But when I saw her, I just got so emotional. I couldn't get anything out, and I began to weep, and I just fell into her arms, and boom, that was it. The dream was over. But she was very alert and was ready and open to give me some information. I could tell she was confused as to why I was crying. I could tell that as well, but I could tell that she was also there to give me these answers. Now, one thing about lucid dreaming that I think that a lot of people don't know is that you are playing all the parts of the people in your dream. Okay, so when you think about Neville Goddard, when Neville Goddard says everything is you pushed out, and when you think about the concept of how we are the orchestrator of everything that goes on in our lives, this is so also in our dreams. So I was actually playing the role of my grandmother. I was tuning in to what she would do, say, or think. I was playing the role of everybody at the party. We're playing these roles. And what happens is dreaming allows us to look at what we already know from a subjective standpoint so that we can know it on a deeper level. Sometimes when we're so close to something and we're right dead in it, we don't see the answers that are right in front of us. But in our dreams, we're able to kind of look at things objectively. And if you gain emotional control, knowing that when you dream and you get in there and you go in with the intention of getting the information that you want to get out of it, then when you begin to become emotional, you just breathe, make yourself breathe and stop and acknowledge, I'm dreaming and I'm here to get some answers. You can literally verbally say that to the person in your dream. You can say, I'm dreaming and I'm here to get some answers, right? Acknowledge that to yourself so that you can calm down and so that you don't collapse your dream and you can literally get everything you need. Okay, so John Lennon was a dreamer. He came up with the song Imagine in his dream. Edgar Allan Poe came up with a lot of his material in his dream. Stephen King said that a lot of his movie plots were worked out in his dream. Carl Jung also said that he had lucid dreams, and many of the philosophies that he's known for were manifested in his dream. We have so many popular people. Nikola Tesla, amazing man when it comes to the dream world and when it comes to numerology. Nikola Tesla is like crazy, right? Then you have Walt Disney dreamed up Disney World, and it just all of these dreamers who actually became doers as a result of inspiration. So life is but a dream. I have a t-shirt that says life is but a dream, and I wear it. Meditation and manifesting is like poverty. The people who need to do it the most do it the least. I have my notes here because they're usually in a crisis and they're stuck in the game. So when you're stuck in the game, it's because you're focused on the problem, right? But you got to be focused on the solution in order to get unstuck. So this is true in real life. This is true in dream life. And really, I'm going to make the distinction between real life and dream life, but there really is no distinction. They're both one and the same, to be honest with you. Your dream life is Spirit's way of helping you work out your waking life. Because when you're dreaming, your judgmental self is asleep. And your non-judgmental self is open and awake and ready to learn. So that this way, the powers that be can really work with you in a way they could never work with you in your waking life unless you're deeply meditating and allowing this to happen, okay? So to get unstuck from the program, you have to detach, while at the same time, you need to become more engaged with yourself on a deeper level. Most people detach from themselves in an effort to detach from the situation. This is a huge mistake because now the very program you're trying to escape has the needed momentum to take you exactly where you do not wish to go. You have chosen to check out while your program is still running. So this is what medication does. However, meditation does the opposite. So medication allows you to unplug from your program while it is still running. Meditation allows you to plug into your program and take control of it and change it the way that fits the desires of your heart. It gives you the power back to change the program completely. Okay? So 3D equals ego's interpretation of reality. 4D is the conscious mind. The conscious mind is asleep and the limitless subconscious mind is active. And 5D is the place where the super subconscious creates the program that is to come. You like that, right? Write that down because that is highly, highly important. to know the difference. The advantage of mastering your dreams is to gain an advantage in this 3D reality before it actually materializes. Okay, so when you're in your dreams, you're in the 4D and you're working out what's in the 5D before it actually hits 3D. Okay, so what makes a dream lucid is you become aware you are dreaming within the dream. I just love it. I love it. This is the best way to also overcome your fears and to get answers to your most pressing questions. So you can act things out and you can actually feel, you can allow yourself to feel things that you normally wouldn't want to endure in the 3D world from an objective standpoint. But again, you have to maintain the emotional control. So if you have a dream that someone that you really, really love is being attacked, killed, or dying, if you can keep yourself from literally falling into the abyss of emotional despair, you can literally re-engineer the whole situation, and this increases the possibility that a solution or an answer can come to you as to how you can intervene on this person's behalf. Okay? But if you allow yourself to be swallowed up by the situation in your dreams, then you'll be so overcome with emotion that you won't see the answers just like you do in your waking life. So you can act out things you feel you can't do in a 3D world. You can master a skill. There are countless things that you can do. Ed Kellogg practiced healing experiments in his dreams. Tesla resolved difficult equations in his dreams. So lucid dreaming is perfect for people with PTSD, because when you're actually in the dream, you're not as connected to the, you feel connected if you go into the dream without a conscious mind made up decision that you're not going to become swallowed up by what you see, if that makes sense. So what happens is if you have PTSD, when you go to sleep and you dream about whatever it is that gives you PTSD, you have the opportunity to constantly rework this situation until you have gained emotional control. So what happens is, let's say you are a war veteran and you keep having a dream about somebody who literally died beside you, or you killed, or whatever happened. You can literally rearrange those events to fit a completely different scenario. Okay, now this doesn't mean that it undoes what has happened, but what it can undo is the program that has been lodged in your subconscious. So if the program that has been lodged in your subconscious is a traumatic program, and it produces anxiety, it produces anger, it produces fear at very high levels, if you replay that in the actual dream and you switch out the story to produce different types of emotions, then what can happen is you can deprogram the emotional charge from that particular experience, thus literally doing emotional surgery on yourself. Okay? So, to master a lucid dream, you must do these 7 things. You must control your emotions, number 1. Have a specific goal before going to sleep, number 2. Number 3, you must meditate into the dream state just as you're going to sleep. So completely relax before you actually go to sleep. Okay. Decide on number 4 is decide on a cue that you are aware that you are lucid within the dream. Okay. So one of the things that you can do is you can count your fingers, right? In a dream, normally, I can't say never, you cannot count all 5 fingers. If you are in a dream and you can't tell the difference, but you suspect you're in a dream, try to count your fingers. If you can't count all 5 fingers, you're in a dream. Okay? Once you know you're in a dream, go ahead and prepare yourself to be in an emotionally controlled state. You want to be as neutral as possible. Okay? After you finish dreaming, you want to wake up and write down the dream immediately. That's number 5. Number 6 is you want to revisit the dream for complete understanding and manifestation. So if you didn't get to finish the dream out, or if you feel like or suspect that there's another piece of the puzzle that needs to be solved, or if you want to manifest something very specific that you weren't able to finish out within the dream, you can revisit the dream. Number 7, you need to know that life is but a dream. So I hope that these tips helped you, and I hope that you are able to practice these and put in the comments of this video or audio that you have actually been able to practice this and you got some results. I have been able to practice it. However, I will say I have collapsed my dreams more times than not. One time I was able to get an answer, but it was a very bland answer. The person in my dream, or my perception of the person in my dream, was that they weren't trying to communicate with me. Once they knew that I was trying to get something out of them, they were pretty resistant, right? Which was a reflection of how I see them in real life. Okay, so take notes of those things because that's going to give you clues as to how you even see that person in real life, right? So reconstruct the world by reconstructing your mind. I know you can do it. Thank you so much for listening. Also, if you're on YouTube, I need you to like, share, and subscribe. I need you to go ahead and make sure that if there's anything that I need to cover that you haven't heard, you just drop me a comment or send me an email at candytj@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to work with you on putting something together that you really want to dig your teeth into. All right, bye.